welcome to form. All right, and today we're going to learn AB and the ABA forms. This is Unit 3. Form means the shape of music. AB is one and ABA is the other type of form that we have to know for second and third grade music, okay? Now, in order to be able to figure out form, we have to figure out if it's the same or different. So if you didn't get last week's, or if you can't remember last week's, then go back to the board work last week and take a look at that. It explains the difference between same and different. There's a couple things you need to remember. If the notes are the same, even if the stems are going up or going down, then it is the same. If the notes are different, it's different, okay? All right, so we start from the beginning, because the beginning is a great place to start. And whenever we start from the beginning, we're going to start with the first letter. And what's the first letter of the alphabet? That is correct. The letter A is the first letter of the alphabet. So let's take a look at this section right here. All right, we have this one line. All right, so that first one is really easy to do. That is called letter A. We don't have to look at anything. We just know it's the first one, and the first letter is always what? Letter A. That is correct, letter A. So we label the first line letter A. That's a form. Now we need the first part of form. Now we need to look at the second line. All right, and we have to decide whether or not it's the same or it's different. If it's the same, we're going to call it letter A. Right, we're going to call it letter A because it's the same as the other letter A. All the letter A's are going to be called letter A. But if it's different, we have to give it another name. So if it's the second one, what's the second letter? The second letter is letter B, correct. So we call it letter B. So let's take a look at this one. This one is A. All right, it starts with a quarter note, right? Now let's take a look at the second line. Does it also start with a quarter note? Yes, it does. Even if the stem's going down, it doesn't matter, it's still a quarter note. So this might be the same. Let's move on and check the second one. The second note is a pair of eighth notes, which is actually a second and third note. Take a look down here. Is the second note here a pair of eighth notes? No, it's another quarter note. Are those the same? One quarter note or two eighth notes? No, they are not the same. So it's different. We could stop there, but we'll keep going just for fun. So let's take a look at this note on beat 3, the fourth note here, but it's the next set of notes, right, is a quarter note. Now if we take a look on beat 3 down here, it is a half note. Is that the same? We can even do it even faster. Count the notes with me. How many? 5 notes on letter A. Count with the second one. Only 3 notes. So we can tell that this is definitely not the same as letter A. So it's the second one. This one is the first one, that one's the second one. So what letter do we give it? Letter B. That is correct. All right, now let's take a look at the third line. There is no third line. So guess what? Since there's nothing else left to do, we are done. And what is the form of this music right here? It is A, B. That easy. Just like that, we figured out AB. Okay? Now let's move on to one that's just a little bit different. Okay? Let's take a look at this one up here. All right? The first thing we do is take a look at the first line and we label it. What is the first line always going to be labeled? Letter A. That's right. It's the beginning of the alphabet and it's the beginning of the line. We don't have to do anything but look at it, see it's the first, and we're going to call it letter A. That is correct. So let me see. It has a what kind of note? Quarter note. And then another quarter note. Then a pair of eighth notes. And then it ends with a quarter note. Right, that's 5 notes, okay? And it goes quarter, quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter. Nice and simple. All right, now let's take a look at the second line. Is the second line the same as the first? Well, we can tell that the answer to that is most definitely no. It is most definitely not the same. This one has 5 notes. This one has 2 notes. This one has quarter notes and eighth notes. This one has half notes. That's right, 2 half notes. You see how they're hollow on the inside? All right, so because this is the second line and it is not the same, it's the second one, and it's not the same. We have the first one, which is A, and then the next one, which is completely different, is going to be called letter Letter B, correct. So we put letter B right here. Great. Now let's take a look at this bottom line. All right, we need to figure out if it's the same or different from the first or the second line. But let's start with the first line. All right, so the first line starts with a quarter note, correct? And what does the first line of this one start with? Also a quarter note. Even though the stem's going down, it doesn't matter. It's still a quarter note. So far, that's the same. Good, let's take a look at the second note. The second beat, the second note, is a quarter note. Go all the way down. What's this one? It is also a quarter note. Remember, music doesn't matter if the stems go up or down. It just matters what kind of notes they are. This is a quarter note, and that's also a quarter note. So far, it's still the same. Great, let's take a look at beat 3. We have 2 eighth notes, a pair of eighth notes. Let's go down here. What do we have here? A pair of eighth notes. So far, it is the exact same, all right? We just have one more note to check, and what is it? There is a quarter note here, and the last one is also a quarter note. So is the third line the same or different from letter A? It is the same. So because it's the same as letter A, we're going to give it the name, that's right, A, right here. So let's take a look at the fourth line. There's no fourth line. So guess what? We're done. So let's take a look at the form we have here. All right? We've got A, and then something different, which is B, and then at the bottom, the same thing as the first line, letter A. All right? So the form for this is A, B, A. And that is our 2 forms that we have to learn for this unit. A, B, and A, B, A. Okay? Now, some of you are really smart are going to be able to look to see there's an even easier way to tell if it's A, B, or if it's A, B, A. And we will get to that a little bit later. Okay? So, good job. And hope you guys have enjoyed this lesson. Next week, we'll have a little practice quiz and something up on Quizlet for you to practice on for the real quiz in 2 weeks, okay? So take a look at this and get to learn it real quickly, A, B, and A, B, A, and see if you can figure out an even faster way to figure out the form than just counting the notes like we just did, okay? Have a great week and stay safe.